coming for you.
I'm not the one that needs to watch their back.
This doesn't have to end in a fight, Tony.
You just started a war. Stay down. Final warning.
I could do this all day.
All right, I've run out of patience. On to roost!
Hey, everyone.
Are you gonna bark all day, little doggy, or are you gonna bite?
If you guys can hear that, this is Chino, the analyst from Moviedogs, clapping and giving props to Captain America 3 Civil War. I was one of the lucky ones who caught an early screening of Captain America, and let me tell you guys something. You guys have nothing to worry about. So I'm going to do a quick introduction. Usually there's 4 of us, 5 maybe, giving out reviews and spoiler talks for movies. But unfortunately, I was the only one who caught an early screening for Captain America. Long story, Atlanta, Texas, really? Fucking assholes. Yeah, and this is what we call Dog Shot Review. And this is going to be a small and quick review of Captain America 3 Civil War. So this is the 3rd Captain America movie, 2nd movie that the Russo brothers directed. And so far, they have not disappointed. I gotta give props to them, man. This is, like I said, an awesome movie. But long story short, I'm gonna give a quick synopsis about the movie. And basically, I'm reading it off from our Google machine. Political pressure mounts to install a system of accountability when the actions of the Avengers lead to collateral damage. The new status quo deeply divides member of the team. Captain America believes superheroes should remain free to defend humanity without government interference. Iron Man sharply disagrees and supports oversights, and debate escalates to an all-out feud among the Avengers. So basically, the government and the other countries want the Avengers to be controlled. Captain America and Iron Man are just feuding about that same issue. So let me tell you guys something. First and foremost, this is a political thriller. This is what you're going to get. And you have to remember, you have a sequel to Captain America Winter Soldier and a sequel to The Avengers Age of Ultron. People keep asking me, do you have to see those movies to fully, enjoy Captain America Civil War? And I would say yes. You don't necessarily have to see those 2 movies to enjoy it, but I think you will appreciate it more if you go back and just see those 2 films. Because, like I said, you'll show more, you'll appreciate it more. You'll understand the plot even better. Let me just say that this is a movie strictly with these 3: Bucky Barnes, Steve Rogers, and Iron Man Tony Stark. This movie's is their friendship, and it gets really intense throughout the movie, and you're just emotionally invested to the very end. And at first, I'm not going to lie, reading the comic books and everything, I was Team Cap. But after seeing this movie, you kind of do see both sides, and it kind of divides you in a way. So that was for me, personally. Let me tell you something, guys. Black Panther, the introduction to Black Panther was amazing. They did a phenomenal job. And that was one of the main things I was worried about was, man, how are they going to, handle the introduction of Black Panther? Because technically, you have all these Avengers in one movie, but man, let me tell you guys, Black Panther was one of the best parts in this movie. The Russo brothers had a difficult task of introducing 2 characters that we've never seen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. How they handled the introduction of Black Panther was perfect. The minute that he comes onto the scene in the movie, you're basically invested and you just want to see more of Black Panther. So I'm really excited. I can't wait to see his standalone movie, but his scenes with Bucky Barnes, the fight scenes and everything was just awesome. Him being in the suit, just him interacting with the other Avengers was awesome. He was done right. I am excited to see Black Panther. I can't wait to see more of him. The other introduction that I was waiting for was Spider-Man. He's one of my favorite characters from the Marvel comic books, and let me tell you guys something. The Russo brothers did a phenomenal job with Spider-Man 2. Nothing, you cannot take anything away from him. He is the Spider-Man that I've been waiting for. And what I mean by that is that starting off with Tobey Maguire, I felt like he was a good Peter Parker, but wasn't really a good Spider-Man. I kind of felt the same way with Andrew Garfield, where he was a perfect Spider-Man, but it wasn't really a good Peter Parker. When Tom Holland comes onto the screen, automatically you know this guy is the perfect Peter Parker and perfect Spider-Man. You're excited. I'm excited to see Spider-Man Homecoming, especially given the news that Tony Stark, Iron Man, is going to be in the movie Robert Downey Jr. So I cannot wait to see that movie. One thing that people keep asking me was, how long was he in the movie? And the only thing I can say is that he's in the movie for 2 scenes, but man, those 2 scenes alone, you just can tell that yes, he is the perfect Spider-Man. And on a side note, we were finally given an introduction to the new Aunt May, which is played by Marissa Tomei. And let me tell you guys something. Even though she's in the movie for a few minutes, you'll love her. She did a fantastic job as Aunt May, and I can't wait to see her in Spider-Man Homecoming. So I can't wait for that. And she is a very hot Aunt May, going on record and saying that. And Scarlet Witch, which is played by Elizabeth Olsen, and Paul Bettany, who plays the Vision. Those two had a great chemistry throughout the film. And I think one of the biggest gripes with Age of Ultron is we weren't given enough time to get to know these characters and to see what their, how they get the powers and what their powers is all about. In this film, you get that and more. So, and you get to see why they're on opposite sides and why they're fighting against each other. So, and I felt like literally I was watching an all-star Survivor Series match between the Avengers. Let me start off saying that the biggest gripe that I had about this film is, and it basically is from the previous Marvel films, is the villain. It's Baron Zemo. You honestly just don't care about this guy. He seems like the cartoonish villain behind the scenes and just plotting. And then to be honest with you, you don't fully grasp what's really like the whole entire plan of, you'll still enjoy this movie. It was just like one of my gripes throughout the movie. Honestly, they could have edited him out and still have a great time. You guys can still have a great time watching this movie. I felt like he was a plot device. And what I mean by that is that he was just a character in a movie that just moves the plot along and just basically being just the person that explains the plot and his conspiracy and what's going on, his main evil plan. One thing that I wish that Marvel would work on is their villains. Throughout the 8 years so far, the only villain that I could think of that most of the Marvel fans care about is Loki. And you really think about it, it's kind of sad. Dating back to Iron Man 2 with Whiplash, he was disappointing. To Iron Man 3 with the Mandarin, what they did to the Mandarin was really disappointing. Guardians of the Galaxy, Ronan, he was okay, but still you really don't care about him. Thor 2, Malekith. To me, in that movie, Loki stole the show and he overshadowed Malekith big time. So, and I think that's the biggest problem with Marvel today. So, but let's move along. I think one of the main things that people keep asking me about is the airport scene. And guys, let me tell you something right now. I saw somewhere that the directors, Joe Russo and Anthony Russo, confirmed that it was 17 minutes of one of the greatest action set pieces that I've ever seen. People kept asking me, is that airport scene too long? Especially that the scene was 17 minutes long. And let me tell you guys something. It did not feel like 17 minutes at all. You're basically glued to your seats, eyes wide open, just geeking out and enjoying every single second of the action set piece. The Russo brothers did a phenomenal job of balancing and giving each character the right amount of time to shine throughout that entire fight scene. One Pacific that I love was between Ant-Man, Black Panther, and Spider-Man, but I'm not going to spoil it. We're going to save that for the spoiler review coming up. And Scarlet Witch, which is played by Elizabeth Olsen, and Paul Bettany, who plays the Vision, those two had a great chemistry throughout the film. And I think one of the biggest gripes with Age of Ultron is we weren't given enough time to get to know these characters and to see what their, how they get the powers and what their powers is all about. In this film, you get that and more. So, and you get to see why they're on opposite sides and why they're fighting against each other. So, and on my final thought of the film, I will say this. I give it a 4.5 out of 5 brewskis. And the reason why, for me, it doesn't get a perfect 5 is because the villain. The villain was my biggest gripe, is that throughout the film, you really don't care about him. That's the reason why I give it a 4.5 out of 5 brewskis. But, I mean, this is still an enjoyable film. This has to be like the top 3 Marvel films I've ever seen so far. And the Avengers, for me, is number 1. I would say, man, it is so hard to say which one is number 2 between Winter Soldier and Captain America Civil War. It is really hard. But I'm still trying to debate, and I'll probably let you guys know on our spoiler review, which you guys should be getting on the opening weekend of Civil War, with the entire crew coming back and giving their thoughts and opinions on Civil War. Guys, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We like to keep it updated with movie news and hilarious pictures and shit like that. So just, follow us. We're going to be doing more contests in the near future, so just keep an eye out for that. And guys, let us know what you guys thought of the film. How many brewskis would you guys give it? So this is Chino the Analyst signing out.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.